Last year for Valentine's Day, I did an art project. It was called Art and Fetish. This year, I wanted to do a project that had more fun involved, and maybe even a little whimsy. One of the themes that viewers have asked me to do more than any other request has been pinup. So this year, I decided to finally do a pinup themed photo shoot. But with this kind of theme, it's really more than just a photo shoot. For me, being responsible for the entire shoot from start to finish, the term project is probably more accurate. So this year, my Valentine's Day project is 21st century pinup. Let's discuss how I do a project like this. This one may have been pinup, but it's a similar process every time. And I'll share photos from my shoot along the way, and then I'll tell you how to see more. Once I come up with the concept for any photo shoot I do, there is some amount of planning involved. It may be minimal, like what equipment I'll use or the location, and I'll let the wheels turn in the back of my mind until a shoot. For something outside of the studio, it might involve several trips to scout locations, like to find a place and then figure out when to do the shoot there and the logistics of getting there. But when I'm the model, I'm also planning wardrobe, hair, makeup, posing options. I might need to shop around to find wardrobe or props, and decide if I'm shooting with a tripod, a self-timer, or directing a friend or another photographer to achieve my vision for the photos. For any themed shoot, like the pinup theme this year, I do research too, like what are the hallmarks of the theme? So let's talk a little bit about how I planned this shoot. With most of my other photo shoots, I let my creativity direct the formation of the shoot, like the decisions I make for hair, makeup, wardrobe, location, posing, editing. But pinup is a specific style that I was emulating. So I began by using the power of the Google image search and the wonder of YouTube hair and makeup tutorials to figure out what pinup really looked like and then create my own spin on it. Once I had that vision of my pinup shoot, I planned the equipment I would use in the studio, the backdrop, the camera, the lens, the lighting, and also who was going to help me. For a shoot like this, where I had pretty specific ideas of what I wanted the end result to look like, I wanted someone who would be okay taking direction from me. Collaboration is great and wonderful things can come from it, but in this case, I wanted to be the boss. Next, I needed to figure out wardrobe, hair, and makeup, and props. All of those things needed to come together, and for the pinup theme, they also need to match the time period to some extent. I rooted around in my closet because I keep random things around for just this reason, but I also needed to do some shopping. I took a couple shopping trips, just looking for things for this shoot, but I also always keep my eyes open when I'm out and about. I have ideas for photo shoots floating around in my head all the time, and sometimes I come across things at the grocery store, as was the case with the cute wine bottle that I used as a prop here. So I came up with a few options for wardrobe and for props. I knew after I planned the rest of the shoot, I'd be able to go back and choose exactly what I wanted. As for hair and makeup, you may notice that I typically keep it pretty natural and minimal. Not just because it's what I know, but because I know it works for me. That is something that you should always consider when working with a model. They will often know what works well for them, so asking them their thoughts on their look for a shoot can be beneficial. For the shoot, I knew I would need more makeup than normal, and it would definitely be stepping outside of my comfort zone, but I did plan to do my own hair and makeup. However, the closer it came to the shoot, I feared that I couldn't do it justice, so I called in the professionals, or rather I went to the professionals. I booked appointments with a makeup artist and a hairstylist. I made sure to specify what I wanted beforehand, so I ended up with people that were going to be able to do the style. I think that knowing when to call in help, especially when you're doing a larger project, can obviously make your result better, but also relieve some of the stress, and that'll make your result better. One really important thing to mention here is budget. I have all kinds of ideas for photo shoots, but they aren't all doable because they would be too costly because of location fees or travel expenses or even the cost of wardrobe. I spent much more on this shoot than I typically do, but I wanted to do the beloved theme justice, but also because I knew that there would be good return on the shoot. I knew that it would be a popular photo shoot and I'd make at least some of my money back on it. And you know what else? I wanted to. This isn't just my job, it's also my passion, so I was happy to spend a little bit of money on it. Now, once all of the planning is done, it's time to actually do the photo shoot. But there is one more thing that I'll share. I try to stay flexible throughout the process. Even the best plan may need some tweaking once you've put it in action. For this shoot, I went through a bunch of ideas for ground covering before settling on something that I wasn't sure was exactly perfect. And then I ended up really liking it, and it didn't end up being as prominently featured in the photos as I had expected. I had planned to do my own hair and makeup. I spent time watching tutorials and looking through photos for ideas, but in the end, it was so much better to have it done for me. And then in shooting, I had tons of pose ideas that I actually wrote out. Half of them didn't even get done, but in actually being in the studio, hair and makeup and wardrobe and props all there, it influenced how I posed, and we got other shots that I hadn't planned for. So anyway, my last thought on shooting for a theme or a project where you are putting in a lot of time and energy is to remain flexible. All right, everyone, that's my process. You saw a few photos from my Valentine's Day pinup shoot in this video. I have posted one along with technical specifications at snapchick.com. I included a link to that post in the description of this video. VIPs, while you're there, log in. There is an entire gallery of images plus a more in-depth video. I took you around with me while I made final preparations on the day of my photo shoot, and I talked to you from the studio during the photo shoot, and I talked to you afterwards from my computer while I was editing the photos. If you aren't one of my VIPs, you can find out more information when you go to my site. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Let me know what you think of my attempt at pinup, and I'd love it if you would share your experience with themed photo projects. Comment below or on Facebook. I'd love to hear from you.